Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you joined me today because in this video I'm going to dive into something that's really deep and personal to me because let's be honest for a moment, who doesn't feel fear? Everyone does, right? So what is the difference? Some people feel it and do it anyway, and others just feel it and stay safe and shrink into fear. That's why, from my own experience, as knowledge is power, I decided to do the video in this to expose the 5 types of fear that really control us. So before we get into this, I want you to think about a time where fear held you back. Maybe it was speaking up in a meeting, or maybe saying yes to an opportunity, or even just press send on that email. Fear is something we all deal with. Sometimes it's more about survival, maybe like avoiding a danger. Other times it's really psychological, like fear of failure, or fear of being embarrassed, or even rejected. So someone help us in this. It's Dr. Karl Albrecht, a researcher on human behavior. He affirmed that every fear you've ever had fall into 5 core categories. And once you recognize them, you can start seeing them for what they are, even more, move through them more easily. It's what happened to me. When I first learned about this, it really changed the way I look at my own fear. Because once you can numb your fear, you can start walking through it because you are already standing above. So let's go through the 5. And my advice to you is, as I go through them, just think which one sounds familiar to you. The first type of fear is about extinction. It's the fear of ceasing to exist. This is the most basic fear because it's linked to our survival instinct. It's that unease feeling when we look over at a balcony from 10th floor or get nervous before boarding a plane. It's not just about physical threat or life-threatening situation. This fear can also show up in health anxiety, like worrying about disease or feeling a sense of panic when we think about the unknown. It can also be much more subtle, like feeling unease in complete darkness, as your brain saying, I can't see what's there. What if there is danger? Feeling fear in a situation where logically you know you are safe, but your body reacted as if you weren't safe. Or maybe you get anxious before a long flight, even though you know flying is safer than driving, because your mind is trying to protect you, even when the threat isn't immediate. It's like example, like I say, of flying, or high, or deep water, even when you know how to swim, in darkness or serious illness. The second type of fear is mutilation. This is the fear of bodily harm. This fear is about protecting our physical body from injury or invasion. This is why so many people feel uncomfortable around sharp objects, medical procedure, or that slight hesitation before jumping into deep water, even if you know how to swim, or around certain animal. It's not just about pain, it's about keeping your body safe. And sometimes this fear can show up in unexpected way, like feeling unease in a packed subway where you have no space to move, or in a crowded space where you feel physically vulnerable. Example of this type of fear is fear of spider, of needle, of medical exam, of large crowds, or even minor accident. The third type of fear is fear of autonomy, the fear of being trapped. This fear isn't just about small space, it's the feeling of being stuck physically, emotionally, or in life situation in general. Like being stuck in traffic and feels this sudden need to get out. Or in a situation where you feel powerless, like not having choice but to go along with something. This is that fear at work. And it's not just about physical space. It's also about feeling stuck in life in general, like I said before. Like feeling trapped in a job you don't like, or in a relationship that isn't working for you, or just overwhelmed by responsibility with no way out. This fear can even make life decision making harder, like hesitating to commit to something just because the idea of being locked in feel uncomfortable for you, like claustrophobia, like fear of commitment, fear of losing independence or control, or feeling powerless in a situation like a difficult job or a relationship. This next type of fear is about separation, the fear of rejection or abandonment. This fear is deeply tied to our relationship because as human, we need connection because we are wired to connect with each other. So anything that threatens connection feels scary. This is why breakups, losing a friend, or small things like being ignored can feel so painful. Example, fear of being alone, ending a relationship or social rejection, or even feeling left out in a group, like hesitating to speak up, worrying that saying the wrong thing may push people away, or feeling unease when someone don't reply to your text as quickly as you expected, feeling anxious before meeting new people, or holding back from expressing how you really feel because you are afraid of pushing someone away, being deeply concerned or about being valued or and belonging to something or maybe to some people or a group. These feelings aren't just about the situation itself, but it's about what it means to you. And they are all rooted to this fear working beneath the surface. And the last type of fear is about ego death, the fear of shame or not being enough. This is the fear that stops so many of us from trying new things. This fear is about how we see ourselves and how we think others sees us. It's about our self-worth, our need to feel valuable, to feel respected and accepted. Like having an idea in a meeting but keep quiet because we aren't sure if it is good enough. This is why public speaking is a common fear because we are putting ourselves in a position we may be judged, holding back on trying new things, not because we are not able, but because we are afraid of looking foolish. It's not just for big moments, even small things like making a mistake at work, forgetting an important date, or maybe receiving unexpected criticism can trigger this fear. Example of this is fear of failure, fear of being embarrassed, fear of making mistake, fear of being judged, or not meeting expectation also. So, final thought on this video, what fear holds you back the most? Now that you know these 5 types of fear, take a moment to reflect. Which one do you relate to the most? Have you noticed a fear that doesn't fit into this category? For me, I know I've experienced a mix of them at different space and different circumstances. But understanding them make it easier to step back and say, "Oh, that's my mind trying to protect me." Dr. Albrecht believed that all fear fall into these 5 groups. But I'm curious, what do you think? Let's discuss in the comment. I would love to hear from you. And if this gave you a new perspective, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet for more insight like this. And thank you again for watching. Thank you for being part of my community. See you in our next video. Bye now.